Well, hello my dear companions, welcome back to Doki Doki Blue Skies part 11. Last time was more of a side track really with the Halloween event. But let's continue this series, and yeah, I'm currently recording in my new place and I haven't had many things in the room yet, so that's why it might sound a bit echoey, but I will try to edit the sound so it sounds better. Here we go. Man, it's late in the morning. I'm glad that there's no school today. It feels weird sleeping in this late from doing something besides playing games. True. I was up until at least 1 in the morning just reading. It isn't incredibly often, but I've found myself reading more lately. It started when I found that I was getting tired of playing the same games. No, usually not. Please tell me in the comments down below if you have a game that you can just play and play and play and never really get tired of. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any specific game you just can't play forever and you won't get tired of it. The monotony of just logging in, playing, winning some but losing more just felt so unsatisfying. Yeah, that's why you don't play competitive games. That's why I prefer role-playing games. Just step into a world and just explore at your own pace. I think, yeah, that's why I love role-playing games especially. While there were some people who I'd play with every once in a while, we hardly talked about anything except the games. The session would usually end with someone getting irritated and leaving anyway. With books, on the other hand, I can open and close them, even at school, and pick up where I left off. Plus, I don't have to rely on Wi-Fi. True. Even up until just recently, when I read for classes, it felt really forced. I still feel that way when I have to read something dry and boring like a textbook. But it's different when I get to pick something to read that's genuinely interesting. I guess that's the same for everyone. I wonder if I would feel the same way about games if I were forced to play them for class. Maybe. I think that depends on why you play games. Many people play for the competitive part, for the adrenaline rush. Some just play for fun, you know, just relax. I'm one of them. And some people play because they can't stop playing, like an addiction, and that's the bad part of gaming. But I think most of us just play it in the same way as someone read a good book. Just to have, you know, just to relax, immerse yourself into a new world, a new setting for a couple of hours here and there. I think that's why I play, especially. While I want to dismiss the idea of disliking games altogether, I feel like I get tired of anything real quick if they were forced on me. The stomach growls. Drops a stomach growl. Looks like it's time to grab some breakfast. So is this the weekend now? My morning routine finished. I settled down at my desk. I should probably do some homework. What the? English is one seriously weird language. How do kids learn how to speak it in the West? You know what? I think it's time for a break. You haven't even started yet. Most of my homework is... Okay. Most of my homework is done anyway, so it seems like a good time to take a walk. Oh, it looks very grayish. Man, the gray clouds are really looming today. Rain clouds. Hopefully it doesn't... Although, where am I going? I don't really have a destination in particular. Guess I'll just walk around for now and see what catches my eye. I end up wandering near a shopping center. Wait a minute, it looks like there's a bookstore here at the west. Oh, we're gonna meet Yuri for sure. Maybe I can ask Yuri to check it out with me sometime. But in the meantime, a sweet smell catches my attention. Smells like freshly baked pastries. I wouldn't mind grabbing something sweet right about now. It seems like a quaint little bakery is the culprit of the fragrance permeating the air. And are those Sayori and Natsuki sitting outside? All of the more reason to take a look at the bakery. Hey guys, fancy meeting you here.
Hi Salsar.
It was a while since I played it, so I hope I remember the voices. The two of them are seated at a small corner table. Natsuki is holding a couple of cream puffs to herself rather possessively, while Sayori is munching on 3 giant cookies. This seems like a pretty nice place.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It has some really great sweets like the vanilla cake. The giant chocolate chip cookies are super yummy.
Sayori practically unhinges her jaw to take another bite of a cookie.
I'm surprised to see you out of the house. What brings you here? Stalking girls on your free time?
Nah, the scent of sweets called my name. Plus, I needed to take a break from homework. There's only so many equations that I can look at before my head starts spinning. Not to mention, English as a language is a nightmare to learn.
I seriously don't get why we have to learn stuff like Algebra 2 and Calculus. Unless if we're doing something really math related for our jobs, I doubt we'll ever use it. We'll use this stuff.
In a sense, that is true. I've learned so much math during my studies, and I've never used them. But it's good to have, you know. Many jobs might contain that kind of math, but many won't. So, yeah, you just have to learn.
Well, at least English is pretty useful.
I mean, I guess.
Hey, why don't you grab something to eat already?
Sounds like a plan. I glance up at the menu as I make my way to this counter. Looks like this place has a variety of teas as well, including oolong tea. I should really learn about other types of tea too. Oolong is the only one I know Yuri drinks. Nevertheless, I'm sure Yuri would like this place. On top of teas, they have cakes, donuts, croissants, bagels, pastries ranging from sweet to sour and pretty much everything bread related. Guess I'll just have a chocolate cake and orange infused black tea. They have some chocolate brownies that look really good as well, but with my exercise habits they are probably way too rich for me. Maybe. I set my tray down with a clatter once I get back to our table.
So what you get?
I went with chocolate cake and black tea.
Not Yuri's oolong tea then.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's still a little too bitter for me.
All tea is bitter. It's only good after you add tons of
I guess, in a way. It's definitely an acquired taste. On another note, this cake looks really good though. The chocolate cake is thick, and dense, with 3 layers of different kinds of chocolate in between the cake. Just looking at this giving me a sugar high. And I call the brownies rich. Yeah, so why did you take the biggest, thickest, densest cake? On the other hand, the tea is rather bittersweet with a hint of orange cutting through the bitterness of this tea. As I pick up my fork, I notice Sayori eyeing my... Come on. To be fair, it's rather large. We're gonna share it. I take a chunk off it with my fork, trying to balance all the layers on it. Taking a bite, the sweetness is not as overwhelming as I thought it would be. And instead, it feels like it's incredibly thick. The dark chocolate enveloping my tongue and the fudge melting in my mouth. The girls look at me as I grin like an idiot.
You make such a funny face, Alzar. Yeah, really funny looking.
Hey, this is some good cake, Natsuki. Sayori keeps on staring at the cake. She really wants the cake.
Of course.
She takes her fork and takes a chunk out of a part that I didn't touch. You want some too, Natsuki?
Are you sure?
Come on, you want me to get fat trying to eat all of it myself?
You're really out of shape as it is. No need to have you pack.
Wow, wow, wow. She takes a chunk of the cake and eats it. If you eat some more, maybe you'll be as big and strong as me someday. She's stuck between wanting to insult me and taking her time to shoot so she doesn't choke. This feels pretty satisfying to watch. Sayori, on the other hand, has been awfully quiet. Sayori? It looks like Sayori took another chunk of my cake while I was focusing on Natsuki, her mouth filled with the cake. You're so cheeky sometimes. You're trying to prep for the winter now?
I don't appreciate your commitment with fat.
Okay.
So you chew your food with your mouth closed like a normal person.
A moment passes and Sayori finishes the mouthful of cake.
I don't like when you call me fat.
Yeah, she's super fat. She's skinny as hell. Sayori, you literally have 3 giant cookies in front of you and I let you have a chunk of my cake already. Scratch that, 2. She really knows how to put food away. At this rate, you might as well sign up for a Sumo club, like you're at it. Wow.
They have a sumo club?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. If they don't, you could be its captain.
Then I have to leave the blitzer.
She's taking it so seriously.
I think I pass. Besides, who want to watch a bunch of dudes in skimpy belts push each other around inside of a ring?
A lot of people, actually.
Sounds super gross and sweaty. It's a respectable sport.
Wrong voice, sorry. It's a respectable sport. I'm pretty sure you have to have a fair amount of muscle to do it as well. That's true. You have to have the mass, not just the fat. You have to have the muscles and the fat. Or at least from what I've seen on TV, it seems like a lot more than fat people having a shoving contest. Plus, you need to have a good balance if you don't want to fall down and lose.
Maybe you should write a super inspired poem if you like it so much.
Wrong voice. I'm so sorry.
Maybe you should write a sumo inspired poem if you like it so much.
2 men in the ring. A battle of wills and pride. Guts overrides fear. You give a mock bow.
That's better than what I expected from you. Far from being as good as one of my poems though. Did you make up that haiku on the spot?
Nope, I heard it on the show. Wait, did I say that? So no. Oh, okay. There we go. Yep, totally. Definitely a Sal's original. The way Natsuki shoots me a glare doesn't reassure me that they're convinced. Anyway, that cake was pretty good. Or the parts that I had were good.
Hey, I should get going soon.
Got exams to study for?
You could say that, yeah.
She looks off to the side, obviously not thrilled with going home to study. Her father, we know about her father. I know they are separate mods, but I kind of want to see them as a bit of a same universe, you know, sometimes. For example, Exit Music. Dark as hell, but we got to learn much more about Natsuki in that one. So I wanted to kind of want to take some of that into this too. Looks like I should get going too. Sayori, you want to walk back home with me?
Sure, that sounds fun.
I quickly wolf down the rest of my food as the others begin packing up. Since I'm here, might as well grab something to take home too. Hold up 1 second. I'm gonna grab something to take home.
Okay. Guess I'll see you all later then.
See you in the club, Natsuki. We wave goodbye to each other as I head back to the counter and buy 2 more slices of Whoa, that's a lot of cake. Alright, let's go.
Alrighty.
Let's save so we don't mess it up. I haven't talked to Sayori as much as I'd like to lately, and this is a good excuse to do so. Especially since exams are coming up and are gonna eat up a lot of my time. So you think you'll do alright with everything?
With what?
For a moment it's almost like Sayori's a little shaken, but she quickly dispels that with a smile. You know, with exams and all that.
Oh, yeah. I think I'll be fine.
Are you sure?
Monica's been helping me here and there too, so you've got nothing to worry about.
That's good. Just make sure to take care of yourself. No point in cramming if you end up sleeping in and missing all your exams.
Yeah.
Sayori kicks a rock on the sidewalk a few feet in front of her. It clatters away, bouncing into the asphalt road. Is something up?
I'm just a bit tired since I ate a lot.
Makes sense. Considering how many cookies and pieces of cake you had, it's no wonder you're exhausted. Just make sure to eat something good every once in a while, okay?
Says the guy carrying
2 slices of chocolate cake exactly. Okay, you got me there. Well, how about this? I hand Sayori a bag holding one of the slices of Oh.
Eh?
Now we can be fat together. Oh, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Now we can be fat together. Oh, that's lovely. Plus, I wanted to thank you for taking care of me when I was sick before Halloween.
Together. That'd be really nice, Salazar. Thanks for the cake. Maybe I should try playing a sport like Monica.
Maybe I should try playing sport like Monica, otherwise everything is probably going to catch up to me sooner or later.
I'd like to see Monica beat you up in tennis.
We're arriving soon in front of Sayori's house. Considering how she's looking so gloom, she must be having a stomach ache. Oh well, she'll be fine once everything gets digested. It's not about the stomach ache, man. It's about the rain clouds, you know? The rain clouds. I'll catch you later, Sayori.
See ya.
I sigh as I head back into my house. Well, back to the grind. Oh. No, okay, cool. I'll try to make these videos a lot longer, because this is a long mod. This is actually longer than the main game. So... Oh! We haven't seen much of the other characters. I would love to have more of them. I have no idea what kind of voice I gave this guy, Sakurai, but let's just go with it. And with so many Reichsmarks floating around, hyperinflation became a real issue. Money was more or less useless. Like Monopoly money. Like Monopoly money? I suppose that's one way to see it. We'll call it there for now, guys. That marks the end of another lesson. On to more important news. Yay, it's time for lunch. I quickly check my bag. We forgot our lunch. Okay, gosh damn it. With a sigh, I start making my way to the vending machine in the hallway. A soft tap on my shoulder causes me to spin around.
Hey Salazar.
Yo, Sayori. Wanna come
Wanna come sit with us?
She motions back to Monica and Yuri standing to the side. Hello, girls. They're all carrying their own lunchboxes from my stomach's grumbles. I'm pretty sure it's jealous of them. Maybe a good conversation with them can help distract me from my hunger. Sure, sounds good to me. A few minutes later, we found ourselves on the roof. I don't know what makes the roof such an attractive lunch spot. Maybe it's the refreshing breeze. I think so. I would love to sit up on the roof and eat. Either way, I'm pretty glad that no one started locking the rooftop door yet. That's strange, we're Natsuki. Oh, she texted me to say that she wasn't feeling very well, so she didn't come in. Anyway, how are you holding up with exams coming up? While I'm not thrilled with the whole idea of exams, I think I'll do well enough on them. What about you guys? With any luck, I'll do well. Cram school sure helps keep me on track.
Monica, you don't even need any luck. You're probably gonna be first in our year, as usual.
The probability that your grades are purely based on luck is infinitesimally small. Thanks for the support, guys. How are you doing with your studying, Yuri? You know how it goes. Studying isn't the most absorbing activity in the world, but we do what we must.
Yuri, I'm surprised that you actually dislike reading something.
Well, just because don't complain, it doesn't mean that I like it. There are plenty of books that I dislike for one reason or another.
Like what?
Like what? There's books that are poorly written or clumsily thought out themes. It's kind of weird knowing that Yuri actively dislikes something, other than manga, that is. Anyway, what about you, Sayori? How are you doing in your exam preparations? Sayori looks away, her half smile not exactly emanating confidence.
I think I'll do fine.
She hasn't started yet. I'm pretty sure she hasn't started studying.
Some of my classes are pretty easy for me, like Japanese.
Let me guess, you're not so excited for the STEM subjects?
Yeah. I'll be fine though. Just gotta study some more and it should be okay.
Well, that's good. Out of the corner of my eye, I catch Yuri staring at me. Not one to back down though, I turn to stare back at her. What's up, Yuri? She quickly looks down, her face reddened. Nothing. I noticed that you didn't bring your lunch. That's because I don't have one today.
Did you forget your lunch again? Hey!
Hey, what do you mean by forget? It's not like my mom packs my lunch anymore. Why didn't you buy anything then? Lines would probably have been too long. Guess you're starving today then, huh? Yep, guess so. I sigh. They've all unpacked their own lunch boxes. Lunches already. The food looks all the more tantalizing given that I have nothing in front of me. As expected, Yuri's brought a homemade bento, while Yuri has 2 rice balls. Meanwhile, Monica packed what looks like a club sandwich. Torture. Hey, Salazar. The girls look at each other, bemuzzled.
You first, Yuri.
Alright, Salazar, would you like a bite of my lunch? I'm not very hungry anyway. Are you sure? I've gone without the lunch before, you know. I say that, but I'm still hoping that she shares her lunch with me. The braised pork belly in her bento looks delectable. Yeah, I'm sure. Here. She picks up a bite of food using her chopsticks and offers it to me. Are you going to feed me? A startled look flashes over Yuri's face. Did she really not realize what she was doing? Too late. Can't take it back now. I chomped down on the mouthful of food that Yuri's holding. The tastes of tenderly cooked meat, lightly aromatic rice flood my mouth. Suffice to say, it's good. Looking back up at Yuri, her expression nearly makes me spew out my food in laughter. She looks crossed between mortified and happy, her face flaming. I guess her brain kinda stopped functioning now. This is super tasty, Yuri. Thanks for the food.
You're welcome, but next time you can use chopsticks yourselves.
Fair enough. By the way, weren't you going to say something, Sayori?
It's nothing.
Oh, poor Sayori. She looks down and fidgets with the rice ball in her hand. Really? Come on, you can tell us what's up.
I forgot. Anyway, what you thinking about Monica?
So she forgot, huh? Normally I wouldn't let it go so easily, but since Yuri and Monica are here... sorry, I kinda zoned out back there. What I miss?
Yuri shared some of her lunch.
Yuri shared some of her lunch with me. And he said that it was good. Surprisingly, Yuri looks quite pleased with herself now. And she fed it to me.
Please don't talk about that. It's so embarrassing.
Looks like Yuri's really coming out of her shell, huh? Yuri covers her face with her hands, flustered beyond the belief.
Come on, guys, let's give Yuri a break.
Why don't you join in with the teasing, Sayori?
Because I'm a nice person.
You've got us there.
But you never answered my question.
Right. Monica sighs and picks at the fingernail. Well, I've been trying to decide on what I'm going to be doing in the next few years. It isn't too long before we all end up graduating, so I've been trying to figure everything out. Aren't you planning to go to college, though? Yeah, I am. Despite her words, the tone of her voice sounds uncertain. That's what I'm planning on doing as well. I've always thought that I was suited for academia. That definitely sounds like you, Yuri. So what about you, Zaza? Do you have any post-graduation plans yet? To be honest, I haven't really given it much thought. No, I can't say I have a solid idea of what I do at the moment. Fair enough. We're only second years after all. Maybe I'll check into something to do with literature. Good answer. Marika smiles playfully as she says that. If you ever need any more literature recommendations, you can always come to me. I'll be more than happy to help prepare you for a future degree in literature. Sounds good to me. So what about you, Sayori?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Maybe a teacher?
That's a respectable profession, inspiring the next generation. I don't know. If I had to guess, Sayori's banking or getting long vacations. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't exactly complain about the long breaks or anything.
She glances around and giggles a bit.
Maybe I could teach classes on writing poetry.
I could definitely see you as a teacher surrounded by a crowd of adorable kids. I think she would be perfect working with kids. Salsa would make a nice teacher as well, in my opinion. Hadn't thought of teaching as a career before. Really? How so? As a teacher in middle or high school, I mean. You're very kind and good at listening, so I believe that you'd be good at providing support for our students. Oh, thanks, Yuri. Of course, it's just my opinion, but I wanted to tell it to you. She shyly twirls a strand of her hair between her fingers as I smile at her. See Monica and Sayori's faces? Yeah. While taking another bite of Yuri's lunch, the girls keep on chatting amongst themselves. Monica's right. There isn't a whole lot of time before we have to go out into the real world. True. We don't have forever or ever to stay like this. Provided I don't think that I'd like to stay a high schooler forever. However, it also means that I'll have a lot more responsibilities to take care of. There's also the fact that it'll be tough to stay close with everyone once we all split off to find our own schools and careers. That's true. I've lost so many of my old childhood friends because we all kind of, split up. Go to different cities, different countries, different works. Many of my old classmates have started families, getting married, or got married. So yeah, you will drift apart. You will drift apart. That's how it is. Maybe you will have one or two close friends still close to you, maybe. But once you go out into the real life, you will meet a lot of new people. And that's how it is. That's how it is. I mean, what are the chances that we all end up doing similar things at the same place? Exactly. Not that there isn't no chance of that happening between at least two of us, but you've got to admit that is exactly what I'm saying. You'll maybe keep one or two of your best friends kind of close to you, maybe, if you have the same interest. But yeah, that's the hard truth. It makes me kind of sad to think about not being able to talk to everyone every day. Now that I think about it, what would happen between Yuri and I? Yeah. At this point, I'm pretty sure that I want to stay close to her. Even if we were end up having different interests, she's someone who I don't want to let go of. That's true.
Hey, Salazar. You were spacing out.
Sorry about that. What were we talking about?
At this point, it's really tough to decide on big things like our future, but we have to ask for permission all the time. Well, we have to ask for permission all the time for little things. Like, we're supposed to decide on what we want to do with the rest of our lives, but we can't even go pee without asking the teacher.
That is true. That is really true. Wow, damn. That is a good point, exactly. Well, I'm sure we'll figure something out. We've got time, so let's enjoy it while we can. I suppose you're right. We still have a year left before we really have to worry after all. The lunch bell rings. Alright, I'll see you all in the club. They smile and wave a bit half-heartedly. Looks like that conversation brought everyone a little down. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough conversation, but you need to have it. I've had it, and yeah. You'll do fine. You'll do fine. You will. For sure. Oh. So we're on a bus now. Continue a bit longer. The bus rattles a bit as it trundles down the street, the plastic hanging straps swaying gently overhead. Oh, public transport. You're always there for me. I can always count on a ride from you, especially when meeting up with a cute purple-haired girl at the bookstore. So we have a date. Ever since I got closer to Yuri, I've really been speeding through books. Having someone to read with definitely helps it in making sure I finish the books, but it also hasn't felt like a chore in a while. Suddenly the bus lets out a high-pitched whine as it eases into a bus stop. Here's where I get off. We're not too far away from the bookstore now. There it is. And there's Yuri. I wave at her, although she doesn't see me. She's fidgeting with her hair, glancing around, presumably looking for me. After a moment, we make eye contact. She immediately smiles wildly and stands up straighter. Hi, Salazar. Hi, Yuri. Did I keep you waiting? Oh no, I arrived only a moment ago. Thanks for inviting me out, by the way.
No problem. I was going to buy something here anyway. So,
Well, let's head in then, shall we?
let's.
It's subtle, but I smell the scent of lavender and a touch of jasmine oil as she brushes past me. Once inside, the scent blends in nicely with the traces of old paper and ink emanating from the store. There's a sense of calm that envelops us the moment we step inside, bolstered by the quiet, lulling sounds of flipping pages. Plastic covers gleam from the bookshelves as we pass by, and with each and every step inside, Yuri seems to walk with a little more energy.
I haven't been in here for a while now.
Really? When was the last time you were here?
I believe it was roughly a month ago on a Sunday.
Why haven't you visited more then?
You know, it's been busy. I shouldn't be spending so much money on books too.
He sighs quietly and runs her finger over the spines of a nearby row of books.
I've been trying to read books online instead of to save money, but being able to physically flip through pages feels so much better.
I can see that. Often, when it comes to games, I often buy digital games nowadays, but it's something special, you know, to have a physical copy of a book, of a CD, of a game. It's something special to have that, really. Tell me in the comments down below if you prefer to buy physical stuff, games, music, books, or if you read it online or buy it digitally.
It's as if I just need something tangible in my hands.
Yeah, I think I can understand that feeling. It's definitely easier to get distracted if I'm reading something online. There's a lot of books I haven't seen here before in this aisle. One novel with a particular ornately designed cover catches my eye. The Awakening. It looks like one of those books considered classic literature. Yuri notices me eyeing it.
Oh, are you curious about some of the novels here?
I don't know, maybe that's one over there. Why, have you read a lot of books in this section? She pulls a copy of The Awakening out from the shelf.
Kate Shopping's The Awakening. I did read this in the middle school.
Of course she did. To be honest,
I don't recall too much about the plot. Hold on, let me refresh my memory with the summary on the back cover.
Her eyes quickly flit over the words on the back, and a moment later Yuri looks up with a smile.
Ah yes, it's all coming back to me. This was quite the enjoyable read, from what I remember.
So what it's about?
Well, it's considered a milestone of early feminist literature due to its social commentary and in-depth look into the main character's psyche. The novel is about a married woman in the late 19th century New Orleans who struggles to find a place for herself in the restrictive society she lives in. Honestly speaking, I believe I liked the book so much because I could relate to some of the themes.
Oh, like what?
Well, some of the most salient themes are solitude and impact of social constraints and expectations. It's easy to find yourself falling into a solitary lifestyle without societal support. In a way, detaching yourself from society can feel empowering in that you can take control of yourself away from outside influence. But it can also be quite lonely.
I can see how that theme would resonate with Yuri so deeply. She must have been a loner even in middle school.
The societal expectations present in that era's version of the American South all work to repress the main character's true desires and needs. Especially since the main character is a married woman who has to struggle with the gender roles too.
So you can relate some of the expectations in the book's society to our society then? Of course. Modern day society isn't as oppressive as the Victorian era society, but still, there will always be social norms that people would be hard pressed to disobey. But at any rate, Japanese society is rather restrictive in comparison to other countries. That is true. That is true. You got that right. When I was a kid, I really wanted to move to America because of how freeing it seemed. Country of rock and roll, right? I don't know about that, but it's definitely a more individualistic culture. Anyway, The Awakening is a beautiful written book. I'd recommend it if you wanted to read a critique of society, although the ending is quite depressing. Oh, was that a spoiler? Nah, you're good. If you're gonna recommend the book this passionately, then I guess I'm gotta give it a shot. Take the copy of the novel from Yuri and turn it over in my hands. I'll be looking forward to hearing what you think about it. We continue strolling around the bookstore some more, this time looking for a book for Yuri. She pauses at the display and flips through a paperback book with a black cover. What's that book? Battle Royale. I assume you've heard about it before. Yeah, I actually read it, a bit of it before. I never finished it though. Speaking of rock and roll, I'm in America. The main characters in it is pretty obsessed with the US. Although I'm guessing that you know that already. Well, I'm embarrassed to admit that I've never gotten to read it before. Well, then she can read it. There are just too many books I need to read. How about we read it together then? I'd like that. She smiles shyly, her eyes twinkling behind her bangs. And with that, we leave for the front counter to purchase our books. The sun's blindingly bright outside, which contrasts again against the chilly nature of the air. Would you like to get something to eat? Sure, there's a bakery nearby. That's pretty good. They even serve tea. Last time I went there, I had black tea. Oh, that sounds lovely. Feel free to lead the way. Within a few minutes, we're standing in front of the bakery. Through the glass storefront, we can see rows upon rows of pastries and breads. As we enter, a wave of warm air carrying the scent of sweets and teas wash over us. It smells wonderful in here. Yeah, if you weren't hungry before, you'd definitely be hungry now. Plus, they even have oolong tea here. Really? I suppose I know what I'll be getting. Try something else, come on. I think I have a cup as well. As we approach the counter to order our drinks, the brownies on display once again catch my eye. You know what? I think I have a brownie too. I grab a tray and a pair of tongs to choose my own pastries. Yuri follows behind, hesitantly grabbing a tray of her own. Are you getting anything else to eat? I think I have a small slice of vanilla cake. By the time we finished grabbing our food, the lines cleared up. Hi, what would that be all for you? I'll have some oolong tea as well as this brownie. The cashier quickly rings me up while another worker bustles away in the background to prepare the tea. And your order, miss? Yuri sets her tray down on the counter with a clatter. Her voice is barely audible. Yes, I'll have the oolong tea and a slice of vanilla cake.
Excuse me, can you repeat that?
I'll have the oolong. Her voice wavers as the red creeps up her face. She glances desperately between me and the cashier. Should I do something? And this is, well, okay. To get the good ending. I want to try to get the good ending with Yuri. We have to push her to do things herself, as I understand. So now we're gonna let her order. We're gonna try to make her strong and independent. Boom. I don't want to impose and assume that Yuri can't do anything for herself. Well, to be fair, it does seem like she wants me to help her. But I don't want to act like her dad or anything. Either way, Yuri seems to have picked up on the fact that I'm reluctant to step in. I attempt to smile in an apologetic, yet encouraging way, but she's only affording me a single glance before looking down. Could I get all long tea and a slice of vanilla cake? She rushes through the last half of a sentence, slurring her words together. Fortunately, the cashier seems to be able to make out what she's saying this time.
Alright, we'll have your teas done in just a minute.
Just as the cashier said, it only takes about a minute or so until our teas are ready. Yuri avoids eye contact as we pick up our cups of tea. With our food in hand, we make our way over to some tables to sit down at. As we walk, she keeps her head ducked down and her eyes steadily trained on the floor. Hey, Yuri.
Yes.
Are you right?
I'm fine. It's just that...
She starts playing with her hair, stroking it quickly. Don't worry about what happened.
How can I not? I'm completely socially inept.
Hey, it's probably worse in your head than it actually was in real life, you know? And besides, you can just keep on practicing.
It doesn't stop me from feeling ashamed of myself.
It's alright to feel that way, Yuri. It might be hard now, but I'm sure you'll get better at it over time. You just need to work at it, little by little. Still a bit shaken, she takes a deep breath to calm herself.
I suppose you're right.
You might not be as good at talking to people as Monica is, but hey, who is? Yuri glances down, tearing tiny pieces of paper napkin apart.
Your logic makes sense, it just...
She takes a moment to collect her thoughts, gathering all her litter into a neat pile.
What makes me most uncomfortable is the feeling of being judged.
I can feel that. I feel you, girl. I feel you. You feel judged?
You know, like when the cashier looked at me with pity as I stumbled over my words.
I can so relate to Yuri sometimes. Yuri, I'm sure they didn't notice at all. Or if they did, they probably forgot about it already. It's like the soft spotlight effect, you know? When you think people notice you more than they actually do.
I know, but I can't exactly help how I feel. Regardless, I'll try to be more outgoing. Could I rely on you to help me? Not all the time, of course, but just when I'm feeling particularly flustered.
Of course, having someone to guide you along always helps. No matter what you're trying to get better at.
Thank you, Salsa.
She smiles sweetly at me, and I can't help but grin in return.
It's definitely difficult to stay completely logical when my body is fully panicking. My mind goes blank and the words get stuck in my throat when that happens. And then all I become aware of is how loudly my heart is beating and how hard it is to breathe.
I feel you. I felt the same so many times. Does this happen every time?
Well, it does when I'm nervous or when I don't perfectly rehearse what I'm going to say. I wish I could speak half as well as I write. If I could do that, I'd be speaking much more often.
Dang, I didn't know it was that bad for her. Yuri, you're eloquent enough when we talk to me, at least. And with practice, before you know it, you'll be speaking in the same way to everyone else too.
Well, I hope so. I'm sorry for bringing the mood down with this subject.
No, you're totally fine. want to know more about you, and that goes for both things you like and dislike about yourself. And for what I know about you, there's not much to dislike. I don't know about that, but your continual support is ever appreciated. Don't mention it. When the conversation reaching its natural conclusion, we finally dig into our respective sweets. The inside of my brownie is moist and thick. The sweetness not too overwhelming. I look around while savoring my bites, chewing at a slow pace. Although the streets are still dotted with people here and there, foot traffic has started to lighten up. When I look back at Yuri, I catch her looking at me, her eyes filled with curiosity. Once she realizes that she's been caught staring, she sheepishly turned red in an admission of guilt. I'm sorry, Salsa, I didn't mean to... Relax. It's nothing to apologize for. Embarrassed, she glances away from me. Somehow, I get the feeling that she wants to say something, but it is too shy to say it. As I muse over Yuri's thoughts, I pop another piece of brownie in my mouth. How's the cake, Yuri? Huh? It's a bit sweet, but very light. I'm assuming you're enjoying your brownie, judging by the smile on your face. She covers her mouth with a hand as she giggles. Okay, you caught me. The brownie is really good. I see. I shiver as I take a sip of my oolong tea. Man, the sweetness of the brownie really makes the tea that much more bitter. Yeah. And let's save so we don't mess anything up. Maybe I shouldn't have ordered it. Maybe. Yuri sneaks several more looks at me as I continue eating. Does she want something? What's up? Nothing. Actually, could I try a bit of your brownie? It's really pretty cute how flustered she can get. Of course, but only if I get to try some of yours. I could almost swear that there's a cheeky flint in Yuri's eyes as she swaps our trays around for a moment. Yuri's cake is quite light, with a very understated sweetness to its fluffy interior. Huh, that cake is pretty good. Way less sweet than the brownie though, so I don't know if if you like mine. She pops a chunk of the brownie in her mouth as I say that. Man, her eyes are really lighting up. I didn't really expect her to have such a sweet tooth. And I take that back. You clearly like the brownie a lot. Well, the inclusion of dark chocolate does cut through that sweetness a bit. It's very dense and rich though. Well, you got that right. We continue enjoying the food and each other's company, slowly passing the day away. After a while she smiles, tracing the rim of her teacup with a finger. I've really enjoyed our time here today, Zalsa. This is a lovely little bakery as well. I'll have to revisit it in my own time. Thanked Natsuki and Sayori for introducing me to this place. Oh, you came here together with them? Nah, I just happened to see them eating here a while back. I see. But yeah, we should definitely come back here again sometime. That'd be nice. With our food finished, we get up and throw away our trash. Hey, you want to catch the bus? Wrong voice, I'm so sorry. Hey, you want to catch the bus? I think one should be coming around soon. That sounds like a good idea. We settle down on oh, it's night time now, or evening. We settle down on the bus stop's bench, sitting close to each other, but not too close. I nervously tap my fingers on my knee. Looks like I've run out of things to say. But surprisingly, Yuri saves the day by speaking up. Today has gone by much faster than I expected. It seems like only an hour ago I left the house for the bookstore. She shifts the books in her bag and smiles down at them. I guess that means it was pretty fun then. I suppose so. peering down the road for a moment, I spot a glaring set of headlights, slowly growing closer. Hey, looks like the bus is here. It stops with a low hiss, and I motion for Yuri to get on ahead of me. Fortunately, it doesn't look too crowded. There should be plenty of seats for us to sit together.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Yuri stumbles on the steps leading onto the bus, falling onto her hands and knees and causing her books to stumble out of her bag. I futilely reach out to grab her, but I'm not close enough to reach her in time.
Oh.
A few people peep around curiously to look for the source of the commotion. Yuri quickly stands, her face flushed, as she scrambles to shove the book back in her bag. I reach down to help her. Here, let me help. Are you okay, Yuri?
I'm fine.
Poor girl. With the last of the books back in her bag, we finally enter the bus. Yuri speeds over to the first seat she sees and sits down, keeping her head down as if avoiding the stares from the other passengers. She adamantly, I don't know what that is, continues to stare out of the window as I slide in the seat after her. You sure you're right?
Other than my bruised pride and soul-crushing embarrassment, yeah, I'm fine.
Despite her words, I notice a wince breaking across her face.
Well, actually...
Yuri shifts her bag off her legs and gingerly touches her legs.
I believe that I stripped my legs or knees.
She's wearing black leggings as usual, so her knees are covered up, but that material has got to be pretty thin. I don't doubt that you got a bit banged up back there. That was a pretty bad spill you took. Her face grows redder as I say that. Whoops, guess I should probably try not to embarrass her even more. True, that was messed up of you to say. Do you want me to take a look at it?
No.
She suddenly outbursts, startles me a bit.
Sorry, I just mean that it's fine. I'll just check it when I get home and bandage it as needed.
Right, if you're sure.
Sorry.
What for?
Well, for one thing, shouting at you just now.
Hey, it's alright, I know you didn't mean anything by it.
Even so?
She bites her lip and runs her hands through her hair.
You also had to help me pick everything back up, and...
Yuri, you have nothing to apologize for. Please stop. As your friend, I like helping you out when I can. All this stuff is really no bother to me, so that's all good. If I ever do have a problem with anything, I promise that I'll tell you, okay? So you don't have to stress out over any hidden meanings in my words, because there won't be any.
I get it. This has been so embarrassing.
You just had an unlucky day today, is all. Try not to worry about it too much.
Easier said than done.
Yuri mutters these last statements to herself, probably intending for me to miss it. The conversation fades out after this, leaving us simply watching the scenery blur by outside. Although we're not talking, it doesn't feel awkward between us. I think that's so important. You should have friends around you that you can just stay quiet with, you know? If you just have to always do something to be in a happy mood, I think that's wrong. I think you should have friends that you can just chill with, you know? Just be, you know? Just sitting here together like this is simple but enjoyable. After a while though, I decide to break the silence. It's nice to physically be with Yuri, but I want to continue getting to know her better too. By the way, it seems like exams are coming up. It seems like we've been talking about them more and more lately. Sorry, we can talk about something else if you want. No, it's only natural that it come up in conversation. After all, we are students. Yeah, I think I've just been thinking about them more often because I think things will go well for me this time. Why is that? Not to imply that you're always to do badly on them or anything. I raise an eyebrow and smirk at her. Really? You know, I may not be as smart as you are, but I know how to read books real good too. Yuri's brow furrows in consternation for a moment as she processes my words. Some of these words are like, damn, man. You know what? She pauses. Looks like she's finally catching on. Oh, Salsa. So you're finally learning to read my sarcasm? We start chuckling a bit together. You're the first one to stop, although I'm soon to follow suit. I suppose that's how everyone thinks of me, though. What do you mean? You don't mean you're humorless or something, right? Yuri's mouth tightens when I say that. That's not what I was getting at, but now that you mention it, you have a perfectly good sense of humor. But thinking about it, she isn't a particularly funny person, is she? She's sweet, but she's also more serious than humorous. That's true. It's nothing wrong with that, though. Either way, it doesn't matter if you're funny or not. You're fine just the way you are. I can't read Yuri's expression. Is she alright? Is she upset? Somehow I don't believe that's the first thing people think when I come to mind. I don't believe that the first thing people think of when it comes to mind when they think of me is funny. Yuri. Salsa, what characteristics do you think define me? She's really putting me on the spot here. Well, you're pretty smart for one. I see. Like, I'm sure you'll ace all your exams without much effort. That's what my teachers usually say to me as well. Why does she seem upset about this? I guess she wants to be more than just the quiet, unfunny, smart nerd. She sees that as a bad thing. You shouldn't. So what's the problem? You wouldn't think that's a problem, right? And yes, it does feel nice to be praised in this way, but it also causes people to carry certain expectations for me. I can see that. I can understand that so perfectly. Certain expectations? You mean things like people always thinking you'll do great on tests? Yes, to an extent. Getting singled out for a specific trait does nothing but color others' perceptions of you. But everyone always labels everyone else. It's not like being associated with a specific characteristics. It's a unique thing. Otherwise, how else are people going to describe each other? If you are smart, am I not supposed to point it out? Well, that's true. I should have been more precise in my wording. What I mean is having one specific thing that's perpetually identifying you. Take Sayori, for instance. How would you describe her? I guess I'd say she's sunny, like super cheerful and bubbly. And that's how you always think of her then? Well, I guess so, but where are you going with this? Don't you think that she ever feels unhappy though? Or to be more exact, emotions other than happiness? Exactly. I can understand. We are three-dimensional people, you know. We are not just one thing. I mean, maybe, but I've never seen her unhappy before. She's only ever smiled around me. Did she say something to you about feeling bad? Don't worry, it's nothing like that. I was just using her as an example. But you seem right. But you see, right? How thinking of someone is in a certain way changes the thought process that are related to them. I guess so. Geez, it's kind of weird thinking about Yuri being sad. And that's precisely why I chose her as an example for you. I kinda feel bad now for thinking of Sayori like that. To return to our original subject, I feel the same way about being called smart. Not only does it cause people to think of me two-dimensionally, exactly, but it also turns me into a subject of comparison. I've always expected to behave in a certain way, or to possess certain qualities. And that pressure is the part that bothers you the most. You could say that. Whenever I don't know something, it makes me feel that much more like a failure. I'm the same. I have had so many expectations on myself, and people around me have had expectations on me, so I can see that. Even small missteps or failures feel so grand for myself, at least. It's stupid, I know, it's no pun intended. I chuckled a bit at the last statement, causing her to return a wan smile. Yuri, it's not stupid, I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel the same way. Yes! Especially other students who are always labeled as smart. Well, I'm just a normal guy myself, so no one's ever really associated me with anything in particular. But I'm sure that if you talk to Monica about this, she'd be able to relate it a lot. Maybe. She sighs, brushing the hair out of her eyes. I don't want people to keep seeing me in this way. But at the same time, if people were to stop thinking of me as intelligent, it would paradoxically make me feel... It's hard to describe. Would it make you feel like you've lost something special? You could say that. The window beside us reflects Yuri's pensive expression as a pale ghost in the glass. Other than being called intelligent, I don't have too much going on for me. But then again, if I were so smart, I wouldn't keep acting so illogical all the time. Yuri squeezes her hands into fists, pressing her fingernails into her palms so forcefully that they'll leave little pale half-moons in her skin. I can only imagine what she's thinking about right now. She's probably running through all her perceived missteps and blunders. Exactly. This is why I like Yuri the most of these girls, because I can really see myself in her, you know? She's really similar to me. In many ways. Well, I think you're wrong about something. About what? I don't think you act illogically at all. The way you act is human. Yuri turns to me with a bemuscled expression on her face. All your idiosyncrasies, all the things you do well in, all the mistakes you may make, everything adds up to create an unmistakably human persona. And you're not simply human either, you're a gentle and kind-hearted person. I mean, you recently took care of me when I was sick. When I first joined the club, you took the time to make sure I was enjoying myself too. I didn't realize how you felt that way about being called smart, and I'm sorry if I kind of bought into that depiction of you. But just know that you're more than smart to me. You're considerate, insightful, complex, and you're a good chef too. Salsa. Anyway, you're a lot of things, but at the end of the day, to me, you're Yuri. I didn't know where I was going with that spiel. but I'm kind of proud of myself for ending it so well. Let's hope that she found my monologue inspiring as well. She's gone very still while I was talking, seemingly listening intently to my words. And now, well, she's blushing, so that's got to be a good sign. As Yuri looks up to smile at me, I'm dazzled by her sparkling eyes. Thank you, Salsa. I don't know what to say. Hey, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm glad to have something like you beside me. Now it's my turn to blush. It's all good. As we approach the Yuri stop, we sit in companionable silence for a bit. Salsa, huh? I don't know if you realize, but exams are coming up. Yuri, making a joke? Wow, seriously? That's the first I've ever heard of it. She smiles indulgently as I play along. I was thinking, why don't we study together? That's actually a really great idea. You can come over to my house after school and we can study together. Well, I don't know how much I can help you, but I'd certainly benefit from your help. Yuri nods and opens her mouth to speak, but pauses when she realizes that the bus is at her stop. Looks like I'm getting off here then. I'll message you about details later. I get up to let her through. Once in the aisle, she steps towards the exit, but then stops to turn back to me. Goodbye, Salsar. Hope you have a pleasant evening. See you at school. She smiles and then disappears into the darkness outside. I think we'll stop the video there. That was sweet. That was sweet. A little date with Yuri. And a new day. Okay. This is November. Okay, yeah. So let's save. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, leave a favorite, and tell me what you think about the game so far. This was a really sweet episode. This was a really sweet episode. But yeah, never ever forget to stay awesome. I'll see you soon. Toodeloo!